Behind the scenes of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters, it's not always lights, camera, action. Sometimes it's chaos. From on-set meltdowns to disturbing method acting gone too far, these actors took things to a whole new level of awkwardness. Whether it was unprofessional behavior, wild feuds, or shocking accidents, their antics left cast and crew stunned, and in some cases, even fearing for their safety. In this video, we're diving into the moments where the real drama happened off camera. Get ready for the stories of actors who became a nightmare on set. Some by accident and others by choice. Starting with an actor who was hit with instant karma after doing exactly what he condemned others for. Alec Baldwin is one of Hollywood's most vocal critics of gun violence in America. But in 2021, the unthinkable happened. On October 21, 2021, while filming his movie Rust, Baldwin walked into an old church where his next scene was about to be shot. As he began rehearsing, the scene required him to handle a firearm. Now, we all know Hollywood doesn't use live ammunition on set, but this time, something was terribly wrong. During rehearsal, Baldwin drew a revolver from his coat and pointed it at the camera, where cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and director Joel Souza were positioned. Then, in a tragic and baffling twist, the gun fired. A live bullet discharged from the weapon, fatally striking Halyna Hutchins and injuring Joel Souza. Baldwin, visibly stunned, repeatedly asked, "What the f just happened?" trying to make sense of what had just occurred. He insisted he never pulled the trigger and that he would never intentionally point a gun at someone and fire.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
However, an FBI forensic investigation later concluded that based on the gun's condition, it could not have fired without the trigger being pulled. Halyna Hutchins was airlifted to the University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque, but sadly succumbed to her injuries. Joel Souza was taken by ambulance to Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical Center, where he was treated and later released. This tragedy sparked a critical question. How did a live bullet end up on a set, and more shockingly, inside the revolver handed to Alec Baldwin? This is where the film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, came under scrutiny. She was responsible for ensuring all weapons on set were safe and properly managed. According to reports, Gutierrez-Reed had checked the firearms around 11 a.m. before the crew took a break. But when they returned around 1 p.m., she didn't re-inspect the weapons. Instead, Assistant Director Dave Halls handed the revolver to Baldwin and announced that it was a cold gun, a term used in the industry to indicate that the firearm is unloaded and safe to use. Given these details, it's not entirely surprising that the 2 involuntary manslaughter charges against Baldwin were eventually dropped, though he has never backed down from his claim that he did not pull the trigger. While this incident may have been a tragic accident, the next actor on our list has no such excuse, because everything he did was intentional, and it left his castmates absolutely disgusted. Even though Jared Leto was widely praised for his intense commitment to staying in character as the Joker, he took things a little too far off camera during the filming of Suicide Squad. At CinemaCon 2016, the public got a glimpse into the shocking gifts Jared Leto reportedly sent to his co-stars during production.
Oh, how about the gifts you gave everyone? Rats, bullets, a hog. Where did that come from?
Don't forget the anal beads.
Who did you send anal beads to?
The used condoms.
You did not.
Yeah.
And yes, they actually confirmed this.
I got that. Jared sent.
Wait a minute, we can't just skip over that.
Yeah.
You get a used condom. What do you say? What do you think?
Jared, he went full Joker, but he really set the tone. He wasn't.
Did you get one?
Yes, I got so many weird things. I can't even begin to tell you the weird things I got given.
What did you think?
I mean, by that point, I kind of felt like I knew the Joker a bit, so it wasn't as alarming. But yeah, there were many instances where I didn't know what to expect.
A number of gifts from Jared.
Okay, what he sent?
Which I don't like to talk about.
You told me he sent people used condoms.
Yeah, he sent used condoms and sticky Playboy magazines and the dead pig.
Dead pig. Margot got a live rat.
The rat is a tame gift. I still have the snake he gave me, Pinky.
However, later on, during the film's press tour in August, Leto hinted that some of the stories might not have even been true.
By the way, yes, because you got to be careful what the Joker says, because it's not always true.
Well,
not always true. But we'll let sleeping dogs lie. And
But someone who didn't get the chance to walk back their behavior or offer a similar excuse was actor Christian Bale. Having made himself a household name in Hollywood with standout performances in films like American Psycho, Christian Bale was about to face one of his biggest challenges in the industry during the filming of Terminator: Salvation. The incident occurred in July of 2008, right in the middle of production. While Bale was filming a scene, cinematographer Shane Hurlbut walked onto the set to check the lighting equipment. As you can imagine, this was incredibly frustrating for Bale. The scene had to be restarted, and considering how much time actors spend rehearsing to avoid multiple takes, it was a major disruption.
Kick your f***ing ass! I want you off the set, you prick!
I'm sorry.
No, don't just be sorry. Think for 1 second. The f*** are you doing? Are you professional or not?
Yes, I am.
Do I f***ing walk around and rip that? No, shut the fuck up, Bruce. Do I want? No! No! Don't shut me up. Am I gonna walk around and rip your f***ing lights down in the middle of a scene? Then why the f*** are you walking right through? Da-da-da-da like this in the background. What the f*** is it with you? What don't you f***ing understand? You got any f***ing idea about, hey, it's f***ing distracting having somebody walking up behind Bryce in the middle of the f***ing scene? Give me a f***ing answer. What don't you get about it?
I was looking at the light.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was f***ing good because it's useless now, isn't it? F***'s sake, man, you're amateur.
The leaked audio of Bale's outburst sparked mixed reactions. Some felt his rant was somewhat justified, especially since this wasn't the first time Hurlbut had interrupted a take.
Well, somebody should be f***ing watching and keeping an eye on him. This is the second time that he doesn't give a f*** about what is going on in front of the camera. All right? I'm trying to f***ing do a scene here and I'm going, why the f*** is Shane walking in there? What is he doing there? Do you understand my mind is not in the scene if you're doing that?
I absolutely apologize. I'm sorry. I did not mean anything.
Stay off the f***ing set, man.
Christian Bale was so furious over Shane's actions that he even seemed ready to physically confront him. Crew members had to step in to calm him down. At one point, he even threatened to walk off the film entirely if it happened again.
You don't f***ing understand what it's like working with actors. That's what that is. That's what that is, man. I'm telling you. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. You wouldn't have done that otherwise.
No, what it is looking at the light and making sure that you are...
I'm gonna f***ing kick your f***ing ass. You know, shut up for a second, all right? I'm gonna go. Do you want me to go f***ing trash your lights? Do you want me to f***ing trash them? Then why are you trashing my scene?
I'm not trying to trash.
You are trashing my scene. You do it one more f***ing time, and I ain't walking on this set if you're still hired. I'm f***ing serious.
While a few people could understand his frustration, the majority were critical of Bale's outburst. The timing didn't help either. The audio was leaked months before the film's release, casting a shadow over its promotional period. In response to the backlash, Bale publicly apologized for the incident. Despite owning up to his outburst and explaining that he was simply fighting for professionalism on set, Shia, who did far worse, apologized to absolutely no one. Shia is, of course, known as something of a wild card in Hollywood, but there's one film that truly pushed him to the edge. While fully committing to his role in Fury and determined not to break character, he came dangerously close to losing his sense of self. The movie was set during World War II, but Shia took method acting to an extreme. Wanting to experience what real soldiers went through, he stopped bathing for months, had one of his teeth removed, and even cut his own face to simulate the injuries soldiers suffer during war. You might wonder where he found the willpower or recklessness to go through with all of that. Well, most of the time, he was reportedly intoxicated.
I see Brad Pitt in the mirror and I'm thinking, like, how do I motivate my boys? You know, like, how do we make this more? How do we get further? And I wound up like cutting my face, I'm rubbing blood on my face, and I'm kissing Brad, and I'm spitting blood.
How did you cut your face?
I had a knife. So I'm sitting in the
So
mirror.
you just took a knife out your pocket?
Yeah, I took a
you
knife
looked
out.
in the mirror?
Well, I'm looking at him, like I'm looking at Brad. But I didn't want to see Top putting fake mud on his face.
Yeah.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
And we'd already fallen in love at that point, like really bonded.
Friend,
yeah, and so I'm like rubbing blood on my face, partly for the character, but also partly like motivate the troops, you know? And then I'm like, I went and kissed him on the face, and that wasn't enough. They're kind of laughing at me like I'm an idiot, and they think it's like ridiculous. And then I went to the grip department, I got like some pliers, and I ripped my tooth out and spit blood all over the mirror. And at that point, everybody's like, oh, this is fucking crazy. And if I wasn't around a bunch of people who loved me, I might have gotten fired, you know? But what it did to us was it like,
Shia became so emotionally attached to the film that he began to see the tank they used as their actual home. So when co-star Scott Eastwood spat on the tank during a scene, Shia lashed out, feeling it was a sign of disrespect. The only problem? The spitting was in Scott's script. Brad Pitt had to step in to calm things down. And that wasn't the only time Shia made others on set uncomfortable. His refusal to shower became such a problem that he was reportedly relocated to a different hotel, away from the rest of the cast, because of his overwhelming smell. But while Shia fully lost himself in the role, another actor, Tom Hardy, had a completely different experience. One personality on set and a totally different one on screen. There's no doubt that Tom Hardy's performance in Mad Max Fury Road was world-class, but during filming, not even close. And if you ask Charlize Theron, it was trash. Charlize clashed with Hardy due to his constant hardiness. When asked about her working relationship with him, she painted a vivid picture of tension on set. It was like two parents in the front of the car. We were either fighting or we were icing each other. It was horrible. One of the camera operators also shed light on what it was like behind the scenes. The call on set was 8 o'clock. Charlize got there right at 8 o'clock, sat in the war rig, knowing that Tom's never going to be there at 8 even though they made a special request for him to be there on time. He was notorious for never being on time in the morning. If the call time was in the morning, forget it, he didn't show up. Hardy would allegedly show up 3 hours late, while Theron had already been sitting on set, fully dressed in costume and makeup, sweating in the brutal Namibian desert. She would often curse him out for being disrespectful, and Hardy reportedly responded with aggression. These confrontations became so intense that Theron eventually felt unsafe around him. She reached a breaking point and requested that a female producer to be flown into the desert to help ensure her safety and to prevent any further conflict with Tom Hardy. And of course, no list of on-set chaos would be complete without mentioning Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Because when it comes to being late, he's the undisputed champion. Almost everyone who's worked with him has probably called the experience a nightmare. And things hit a peak during one of his latest projects, Red 1. The Rock was reportedly showing up 7 to 8 hours late to set on a regular basis, which led to multiple reshoots and a complete reassembling of several scenes. On multiple occasions, the filming crew was forced to shoot around him. As you might expect, this dragged out the filming schedule significantly. Crew members were overworked and exhausted, showing up early and staying late, often without extra pay. That was the trail Dwayne Johnson was leaving behind wherever he went. Apparently, his tardiness also sparked a feud with Ryan Reynolds during the filming of Red Notice and was partly to blame for the long-standing conflict between him and Vin Diesel. But perhaps the most bizarre part of it all, during the filming of Red 1, whenever Dwayne Johnson was away from his trailer, he would reportedly pee in water bottles and have someone from his team dispose of them. The reason he gave? To save time. Yes, to save time, despite showing up 8 hours late to set.
Not really, man. I mean, they tried. I pee in a bottle. Yeah, that happens.
That does happen. What about the late part of that story?
Yeah, that happens too.
Really? Okay.
But not that amount, by the way. That was a bananas amount.